this afternoon's event, where we'll be celebrating the diversity of the town. So I'm from Mona, and we're from Londonney County, and we've been working with local members of various associations in a steering group on a collaboration project to celebrate our diverse heritage. And we've been doing that for the last 2 years, culminating in today's activities. So this performance, we've had some heritage walks that I hope you've been on. We're also doing a collage and an art of the day celebration, which I hope you've had a chance to see. So, as a kind of big finale, we're very excited, we're very pleased to introduce the Greenwich Tibetan Association and their performance, starting with the costumes in a fashion walk.
Ali puji Good afternoon, Tashi Deleg. Namaste. Oh well. My name is Tsering Passang, and I'm an active member of the Tibetan community in this region. And also, as Kat introduced earlier, I'm a steering committee member of the Woolwich Heritage, Woolwich High Street Heritage Action Zone. And I'm very pleased to be supporting this amazing project celebrating diversity, culture, and heritage in the Royal Borough of Greenwich, especially in Woolwich. This library, the Woolwich Central Library, has become an amazing hub for Tibetans living in this borough. And just now you have witnessed the amazing catwalk or fashion walk by these Tibetans in traditional costume. Tibet is a big country. It's almost the size of Western Europe. And the population is very, very small. It's 6-7 million. The costume they wore from northeastern Tibet, Amdo, eastern Tibet, Kham, and in Tsang, central and western Tibet, including Kongpo region, southern Tibet. We have more songs and dance, but before that, I just want to add an amazing connection Tibetans and the British have enjoyed over the past 100 or so years. In 1913, His Holiness the Great 13th Dalai Lama sent 4 young Tibetan students from the age of 12 and 15 to study in the UK. 2 of those boys studied or received some training in Royal Arsenal and Royal Military Academy, Woolwich. So this is a long connection Tibetans have enjoyed when Tibet was an independent country, before even the Communist Party of China was, or Chinese Communist Party was formed. I just want to make that clear, that Tibetans enjoyed close relation with Great Britain, and Britain is our home now. In the Royal Borough of Greenwich, over 150 Tibetans live, and in Tibetan Ugenubula, our elder in the Royal Borough of Greenwich, who moved to this area in the 1981-82, he is the first Tibetan, as far as I know, who have been the longest resident in Royal Borough of Greenwich, and has named Woolwich in Tibetan Tashiling. In Tibetan means land of happiness. On Saturdays, the Tibetan children also learn Tibetan language, cultural songs and dance, and our language teacher, Youdon Lhamo, and the dance teacher is Pagduna over there. So they've been teaching dances and songs and learning Tibetan songs and Tibetan dances. And today, Youdon Lhamo is also the president of the Royal Borough of Tibetans living in Royal Borough of Greenwich. It's called Greenwich Tibetan Association. So thank you for coordinating this. And in addition to the librarians, we also have a civil servant from the local council here, and Rob, very kindly witnessing this cultural activity here in the library. So thank you, Rob. Now, without taking any more time, I'll pass over to the young children who are going to perform. So children, are you ready? By the seniors and Kangjong Telu. Famous sisters in London, Chuki and Chuni. They are going to sing and play flute. The name of the song is Hasa Diva.
So for this song, we're going to be playing the Tibetan lute, and it's Damye Shabjo. So we'll be dancing and playing at the same time.
Thank you very much. That was amazing. Like these two young sisters, Chugi and Chunyi. Next, I'm going to introduce Youdon. And this is a little bit different. As we celebrate heritage, it's also important to remember those who have worked so hard to preserve Tibetan culture, religion, and Tibet has or its home to Buddhism for over 1,000 years. And today, the Tibetan peoples believe in reincarnation system, and the two senior-most or top Buddhist leaders are His Holiness Dalai Lama, who is currently in India, who has been remained in India since 1959 after China's occupation of Tibet. And then the second top leader, spiritual leader, is His Holiness Panchen Lama or Panchen Rinpoche, who endured great hardship under the Chinese occupation. After his release, he worked so hard and established many Tibetan learning centers. And in Tibet, the Tibetan studies, Tibetan language, culture has been kept for all these years. Youdon is going to read a poem or dedicate this poem for Panchen Rinpoche. Panchen Rinpoche knew the Pepchu. Return Panchen Lama soon. So basically, the current Panchen Lama, the 11th Panchen Lama, who was recognized by His Holiness Dalai Lama in 1995, he disappeared within days after his recognition by the Dalai Lama. For nearly 30 years, he is nowhere to be seen. And her poem is calling for the return of the Panchen Lama. So Youdon La, without taking any more time, I'll pass over to you.
Chamala ta sidele dini mise ki tirin ge ngachu ta lekha chwa di shonde da tinde main be gene che pasam da ngini ge digala chashi le de ani chama phela ani thuji che shu ye mise ki che pasam la thuji che ta tari digala lekha sheta chi yore chi chani na ngachu ta panchim bo chi ta golosum chi songala ta legi yore di ngachu tanda khaw yu me de ti singye mar ti yin jong ngi mise ki di chapsi gani diri chashi le be Panchen la Tsering Jenny Lo Mang Bu Zhou Yang Nga Chu Di Nam Yang Tsering Zhen Xi Yu La Tsering Yang Cai Xi Yu Qian Ni Dong Du Ge Da Wa Ta Nei Har Di Man Na Ge Ji Zhen Na Ge Di Qian Song Wa Nga Chu Di Nam Yang Jie Ge Me Panchen kam chang chechi ba ja jang ni zam che shi di mo lo ni sha za ge kuri lo ni sha za ge ro yo ri de rang da shi wi che nga wo li chi heritage sa ni ji library kang de nga rang ge ha mo si cha shi lo wa yin ha ni che ngo zhou wo ji wo da nga wi che den dang chi ji den dang che chi Jie da shi wi che ni he nga nin lo sam ji la so bi ban qi na gen de ne chu ji ni ma che ge a ja jing a ja na jing gi zhen chi shi ni mo lo ni she za ge ku ri yu di na mi na nga chu sem la chong guo di ga qin bu yin 咱是我们也跟这个党兄弟们比，从把口技技，半千人不去周围，我去恰是中班的，老周各位啊，肉等等，三年更三年，连个忙不只有把的。这路几个家，这路几个跟这狗日。 这路几个跟这国外的外围提及的人，半天跟上这几把，跟人出去你买车，也没你当难道加上给那个车家的这种空个冲山的，而对不起的战车有把灯。 Kapte kong ar kong lo tili lo mepe zaman ke zomba lo na chongshu chabyun 딱 거기 공로 아니 줄라 아니 마신 비니마 접지시 요래 디르니 지나 디지다 아니 같은 잠불랑 게다 로 청슈디 창이디 어디 땅아 졸라 ngachu semla semgo di peka chimborida dipi longo nyeshe zargerung ko个抽象头，咱是我们要真正当啊，这就来用我作为，只有根据抽头接头些这么大碗些都不些进没，第那名啊抽产生有了，另一名坏心有。半天那人不去求，年头老周个月热腾腾，另个忙不吃西冷腾连人不赢，下面。半天工程就啊，半天出去讲成出个高楼动物个啊，中东那些个人。半天如果去公路这了嘛是被讲个，把地地的，我从爸爸的就先把生活给全部，这里忙不没那给我们的，我从没这个吃起来，没你个吃起来呢。我从家底那说先把，我从那了了的，吃水讲的，咱小朋友把地吃过来的，我从西子镇家去吃呢。我从家底那家客没比，三小把的，让了家客没比，没几个把的家底那先了吃过的。之前呢，那个半天我去工厂去啊个，嘛中东忙不行都有的，你那样当我从西国的干来了呢，我从敌人家拉公办呢，家给下班呢，经济下班呢，我从朝东个地方，地那名爸爸，地那名不给下过当，不应这个，不应西北就东个的，爸爸瞧个什么个米，我从不应不给。不去公国的，我从让个邻居把的哈过过来，第几年的查西的最起的是呢，你的人个呢当家的查西个当家了，我让个什么呢？第几年的查西的嘞，你推荐钱，你的妈的是妈了张球推荐钱。
Thank you, Youdon. That was amazing and very emotional, rightly so, because Panchen Lama, when he disappeared, he was only 6 years old. He was the youngest political prisoner, and we don't know where he is still today. So that was well said and well presented. Thank you, Youdon. Now, we don't have much time, and we have a very popular dance. It's called Chamba Chesang from Tibet. Chamba Chesang? Yay! My name is Tsering Passang, and today we had an amazing day in the Royal Borough of Greenwich, in Woolwich actually. And we just had this culture performance at the Woolwich Centre Library. So many people turned up, and the Tibetan community, the Greenwich Tibetan Association, made an amazing cultural performance and a fashion walk. They wore traditional costumes from all the three regions of Tibet, and kids did a dance, and then the two lovely sisters, Chuni and Chuki, did songs as well as dance with musical lute and so on. And earlier in the day, I did a talk about the Tibet connection and with the Woolwich and the Royal Borough of Greenwich, and that includes the Greenwich Tibetan Association and various activities we do in the borough. In fact, I try to make a connection before Tibet was invaded by Communist China. In 1913, His Holiness the Great 13th Dalai Lama sent 4 young Tibetan students to England to study, and 2 of those young boys did receive some training in this very area, Woolwich, at the Royal Arsenal and Royal Military Academy, Woolwich. And they did some training in military, and when they returned back to Tibet in the 1910s and 20, they sort of helped to modernize the Tibet, especially the Tibetan army and so on. So there's a big connection, long-term connection, over 100 years. And in 1981-82, a young Tibetan family moved to Woolwich, and then in the subsequent decades, more Tibetans moved to Woolwich and Royal Borough of Greenwich. So today there are about 150 to 200 Tibetans living in this borough, and every year we also raise the Tibetan flag at the Woolwich Town Hall, and it's the only local government or local borough hosting the Tibetan flag in show of support and solidarity with the Tibetan people, and I hope this continue in the years to come. Now I'm going to introduce an amazing person, Dr. Katrina Foxton, who is from the Museum of London Archaeology and who has been behind this amazing 2-year project. So, Katrina.
Thank you, Tsering. I am Katrina Foxton. I work for MOLA. I've been working for Museum of London Archaeology for 2.5 years, and I started this project 2 years ago as part of the High Street Heritage Action Zone project, which is actually a nationwide funding scheme that is funded by Historic England and backed by the government. But in this case, it was a grant awarded to the Royal Borough of Greenwich, who commissioned Museum of London Archaeology to do a programme of community engagement events alongside a scheme of works to restore and breathe life into the heritage of Woolwich's High Street, which is Powis Street, which is where we are today. And so as part of the community engagement events, I coordinated a steering group which consisted of a number of different organisations connected to Woolwich, and that's how I met Tsering Passang, who represented the Tibetan community on our steering group. We also had representation from the District Antiquarian Society, the Charlton Society, and a few other names, and we're really pleased today to have finalised our Heritage Action Zone project in a style with several talks and heritage tours, and we've had an art in the day activity here at the Woolwich front room, and we've had some incredible supportive volunteers from Greenwich and Woolwich who have been amazing. But the grand finale, which was really important for me, was the cultural performance by the Greenwich Tibetan Association. My feeling is that whilst the Heritage Action Zone focused on the physical built environment of Woolwich, the conversations that I've had with Tsering have highlighted the importance of why and how Woolwich is actually home to a community of people who have different cultural heritage backgrounds and what we in the heritage sector call intangible heritage. It's not necessarily something that you can knock on. It's in song, it's in food, it's in dance, it's in clothing, and so we're really pleased to have been able to give the space, and we'd like to keep talking, and even though this project has ended, for other opportunities to explore the meaning behind intangible heritage for the Tibetan community. So thank you.
And Katrina, I really appreciate when you approached me. I think Rob from the borough probably recommended for me to be on the steering committee. Initially, I hesitated, but you very kindly sort of invited and then made me feel sort of at home. And actually, this past 2 years, I know I haven't contributed much on being on the steering committee, but one thing I did was I learned quite a lot about heritage, and also sort of alerted me to do research on my background, heritage. That's why the history I was talking about, the Tibetan connection in the 1910s, you know. So that's how sort of I pursued more. Yes, so that's
I didn't realize.
Yes, it's very true. And I started talking more and more with my Tibetan communities here, and you probably saw on my blog, I started writing about it, and I was engaging with Tibetan media like Radio Free Asia, Voice America, and Voice of Tibet. So sending information to them. They're taking note of it. So maybe, who knows, we might be able to come up with some program with them as well. So, you know, we're reaching out globally, you know, not just in Woolwich. So I think what this project probably started as a small, but it has like a wide.
I think that's important though, isn't it? Sometimes you have to start small and just accept that things are not like, you know, all singing and dancing, although we have been singing and dancing today. I have noted that is often the way with heritage projects. In my experience, it only takes, you know, 5 people to start something that then builds momentum. So I'm really excited to hear though that you did that history homework and found that out, and then because that was something that you mentioned in your talk earlier, and I was like, wow, I can actually see that becoming an exhibition. And Rob thought the same.
I did know a bit about it. But I did a serious, trying to get a serious paper, 30-40 pages. So I started reading quite a lot about these two, actually four Tibetan boys. And
that story of that man who stayed for a long time in Woolwich, learning how to be an electrical engineer.
Yes. I mean, his stint in Woolwich is short. The army officer, shall I say, he's trained, but still I have to explore more about him. I can't get much information about him from this paper, but I do need to do more research. And basically, you know, it's as you said, it's not just, you know, tangible, but also intangible heritage. And music, you know, as we experienced in the library, a wonderful lady who's not Tibetan, she started dancing while they were performing.
Oh wow!
Music has no boundaries. So what we did, we had a, you know, final dance when everybody was encouraged to dance together. So, you know, I was talking to Rob earlier as well. Once the square, the repair work is completed, renovation is completed, we should encourage more people, you know, from different groups to perform on and let dance on this in the square, so we can encourage more people coming onto the street, and of course then they will spend in the high streets, you know. So that's how we sort of rejuvenate through music and culture in that sense.
I also remember why we decided that we should have the dance, and we had this conversation about why, because it's such a visual it's a visual event, and you can film it and then you can share it. Absolutely. And actually that's a really important thing for the Tibetan diaspora, because it means that you're keeping the culture alive and also sharing it so that the younger people can see that that's important. Sorry, I know these are your words.
Absolutely, no, they're absolutely true. And I was, after the talk here, I was speaking to some Nepalese ex-Gurkhas, and we talk about three things, and they were doing some voluntary work, and so I made a new connection there. So, this really opened up new space.
Yeah, and pathways.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And really appreciate the good work that you did, and reaching out to community, especially the Tibetan community in the Royal Borough is very small. I know Nepalese, they're talking about like 13,000, 14,000, and the Nigerian community is the biggest one, 35,000 or something like that. Tibetan scene is under 200, but we are sort of very much welcomed here. So that's
it's really exciting.
Exciting and very honored. And as you've seen, there are Tibetan restaurants like Kailash Momo restaurant, the Wow Sushi, Tibetan run small business, and there's another Reva and Sushi restaurant, and then there's the latest one is Iris Sushi.
I love sushi.
So these are sort of also contributing to the local economy, and people come together, and this space again that the Borough Council has done amazing.
I definitely think as part of the Heritage Act Zone project, this whole building was opened up and funded by the programme, and then the GCDA were sort of came in and filled it, and the work by Sarah Harper has been amazing to see, and I understand that you pretty successfully held the dance rehearsals in here. Is that right?
Yeah, downstairs.
It went okay. So so I'm really glad that the Heritage Action Zone has been able to support the Tibetan community in Woolwich. So it's really exciting, and I hope we can keep talking, because I've still got some ideas of where to go next.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, thank you. We'll be in touch, and thank you to Mola team. And our hut, and of course the Royal Borough of Greenwich. And this is wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.